Hey everybody, I'm Griffin and this is Theta, and we're here with another Stone-Faced Reactions. We're watching more Rust Eater Bisco today. Last time we had a whole bunch of cool action, and yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
I always appreciate that you use the English name for the show instead of the actual name for the show.
I made an executive decision that I wasn't gonna just constantly try and mess it up, and yeah, Rust Eater works better for
Yeah, you
that.
don't know how many times I've sat here and tried to pronounce it in my head and well, I'm never gonna say the name. And then every time you come in with Rust Eater Bisco, and I'm like, oh, he found his own way.
There you go, just avoid the problem entirely.
If it works, it works.
Alright, so my memory is, of course, just a little fuzzy. What do you remember that happened last time?
Let's see. Last time was the fight with my favorite character, the sister to your favorite character. We did a little bit of medicine on Jabi, the mentor to your favorite character. Nope, sorry, the mentor to Bisco. So for some reason I forgot for a second that Bisco was your favorite.
Yep.
They fought around town for a little bit. We had some conversations. Then he decided to take your favorite character, Panda. I can't remember his name. I just know that we call him Panda because that's the name of his doctor's office. So apparently he's not no problem with the moniker either.
I think it's Milo.
Yeah, that's right. It's Milo. Which, by the way, I should remember because he literally has the eye thing going on. That the God, is it the cat that has it from Milo and Otis?
I wouldn't know that one, unfortunately.
No, it's like was it Homeward Bound? It's like Homeward Bound, but 20 years before Homeward Bound was made.
Well, hey, I mean, whatever helps you to remember the name.
Well, I mean, I'm just reaching out for anybody who's not a millennial, I guess. I mean,
If you're
Homeward,
old like
yeah,
us.
Homeward Bound was a touching journey, except it did things that Homeward Bound didn't do. Milo knows, I
Mhm.
mean, it's a touching journey. It did things that Homeward Bound didn't do, like they fucking get lost, almost die to cold and starvation, fall in love, and have families. it's
Mhm.
it's a real weird story for kids. Anyway,
Anyway, this story, which is also really weird.
yeah. Well, I mean, if people are gonna hate me in the comments anyway, fucking hate me for loving things then. Um, yeah. They then left the city, which I don't know which city it is. I would say Tokyo, but I think that's only based on our other reaction show, Tokyo 24th Ward. Um,
They said that they were going to a Tokyo graveyard at the gate, so I imagine the gate is for the city of Tokyo. So there you go.
no, actually, I think I'm wrong. So I think it had. I think we mentioned this in the very beginning. So you remember the intro is the intro was a giant explosion in a city. Now that I'm
Mhm.
remembering, I think Tokyo is a wasteland because I think I made an Akira type reference in the very first reaction that
Mhm.
it's another Tokyo explosion thing. So I
Right.
think Tokyo is the wasteland that the rust is emanating from.
It seems to kind of be everywhere right now, but
Yeah,
yeah.
well, yeah, it had an origination point though, is what I'm saying, and I think that's supposed to be Tokyo. Also, in the post outro, we also had a fortress-sized crustacean of some sort that has like a
Yeah, the
fortress on
giant
its
crab.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I don't know that's a crab. That's why I keep saying crustacean. That has a fortress that was on its back. I think, well, because I'm thinking more of crustacean because I think it has to be one of those what do you call them? They put they burrow into shells. Hermit crabs. I guess that's still a crab. Then you're still technically right.
Hmm.
Like a hermit crab, where they find like a shell or something that they can put themselves into. I
Right.
only think that because I don't think they built a fortress on the back of a turtle that then the fortress rusted later. Because in the intro, it looked like we had a normal world. We had a normal world that then turned into this rust world, not a
What?
world where they built fortresses on hermit crabs and then
What do you mean that's not normal? The normal world definitely has giant crab fortresses.
that's what I'm saying. That they must have built the fortress on something that this giant crustacean later was able to turn into a home, and
Hmm.
not the other way around. Because I don't think they would have built a giant metal fortress in a rust-covered wasteland.
Hmm. Right. So, that's kind of where the action led off. They After all the fighting, they've escaped the city. Now they just are on their adventure, and this is the first kind of obstacle, or at least random event that seems to have happened. And this is probably going to set the mood for how other episodes are going to go. That's my idea here. Like, they're on the road. This is their journey. Here's how their format's going to start looking.
Well, this has been the most narratively straight, cogent. I don't know the word I'm looking for here is of all the episodes, because we didn't do any back and forth time jumps that I'm aware of. No, we did one. We went back to that other gate so that they could get a scene of Bisco telling them to take care of the mushroom for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it was just a back and forth of things that were happening at the same time.
Right. The flashbacks ought to probably end. I'm going to look back on that statement 10 episodes from now, and I'm just going to be like, I don't know what time is anymore.
Well, that's what I said in the first and then second episode. It's just been crazy. It's been a memento anime,
So here we are. We're hoping for some fun action, some road trip, and linear time.
I'm also hoping that my favorite character doesn't get eliminated already in the second episode. Like, she lost the fight. She's not dead, but she's also in charge of the town's, defense forces, so she might not be following them through the desert, although her brother is out there, so maybe she will.
I'm a bet on miraculous recovery.
No, it's not gonna be miraculous recovery. She's half rust dead, right? We saw some people that were suffering badly, and they were 10% of what she's got going on.
Right, but she's also a superhero, so we'll see.
Well, I think that's why Bisco was saying in the last episode is look how bad off you are, and you're still fighting like this. I think she's supposed to be a force of will character. I'm powering through this despite my handicap.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's go ahead and watch. Oh, we've gone back in time already.
No, this is the present. Milo wouldn't be here.
I guess they just ran away.
They said Milo wouldn't be out here if it was the past.
Off to such a friendly start.
ねえビスコ、進路がずれてる。このまま行くと東の方へそれちゃうよ。
それるとか不吉なこと弓使いに平気で言うな。無信心なやつだ。これだから年の坊ちゃんは。
そうじゃなくて、本当にこっちでいいの？道間違ってない？
俺は間違ったことなんか一度もない。
本当に？だって僕らこれから秋田に。
Hey, there we go. Direction. Akita.
Which is one letter off from Akira.
Hey, he also calls him Panda.
I told you, he must be fine with it. He named his own clinic, Panda Clinic.
Right. It's basically just a distinctive feature at this point.
Those things floating in the air? Yeah,
yeah.
I was to say.
Driftweed. Bonk.
そんなつもりで言ったんじゃ。
浮肝が夜に光や虫や獣を寄せる。だから昼のうちにここを抜けたいんだ。油断してっと死ぬぞ。
ごめん。
Oh, I just realized he's just wearing a lab coat underneath his little shoulder shawl here.
Mm-hmm.
Which, on one hand, maybe doesn't seem efficient, but on the other hand, he literally did just run out of the city at a moment's notice, so... And he's already dead. Well, that was a great series.
You remember how many years it's been since the rust happened?
I don't think they've actually directly mentioned number of years.
I want to say they said 200 years or something like that. Because remember, they had time to build those giant walls and everything, too.
I tried to make a guess based on the decomposition of the cars here, but specifically this rust thing is that it made everything decompose faster and turn to rust, so it's even harder to tell.
See, I was going the opposite. I think they said 200 years, but we still have these train tracks and the cars and everything, and they're not.
ビスコ
Look, there's not even rusty. The car's not even rusty.
キノコアンプルのおかげで
I guess they forgot to color it that way.
問題はジャビさんの方で
At worst, some of the paint's coming off.
一月が限界
Or maybe it's a very distinct detail for this area and scene, especially considering there's grass everywhere.
Or like a commentary on alternative materials.
歩いてちゃとても
Maybe.
間に合わないかといって車拾って意味浜高速道なんか使ったら
If we get a car,
捕まっちゃうだろうし
お前俺を喧嘩だけのアホと思ってんな。んなことは分かってる。考えなしで飛び出してくるわけねえだろ。
何かアイデアがあるんだね
You know, I thought he was that pale because he was like deprived of water or food or something, but I think he's
No,
just that pale.
he's just pasty white kid, that's all.
Well, it didn't stand out as much when he was in like the darkness of the city when it was like a noir atmosphere.
Hmm.
断脈の中を通ろうってこと
Bone Coal Mountains.
骨端脈に潜んでる鉄ネズミは恐ろしく凶暴だって噂だよ
Iron
噛
mice.
みつかれたら骨になるまで10秒かかんないっていくらビスコが
So like land piranha then. We have a whole land piranha myth going on.
Oh, you're so right.
二人で行くっつったんだよ。
だって他に
その3人目をな、今見つけた。バカ、味方だ。
Okay, he just got lost. I was starting to wonder, it's like, yeah, where is the crab? It's like, oh, you just got ahead of him somehow.
その人ビスコの友達
兄弟だ。
Your brother turned into a crab?
鉄ガザミの芥川。壁の東から回り込ませたんだ。
It's funny that in this age of in this age of rust and everything, we're nicknaming everything based on metal. Iron mice, steel crab.
炭鉱に潜む動物は
Well, what's a dystopian future without a bit of irony?
それにこいつはどんな場所も歩
But
けて力も重機より強い。
no, I just mean
I didn't even realize I did that. Oh,
steel and iron, all this stuff. Wouldn't that be now the weakest of materials? So you're giving things that are having hard-sounding names now, but they're actually the most susceptible to fall apart.
でここでこれをギュッとやるとグッと曲がる。芥川が興奮してわーってなった場合、クラッつってこう。
気温ばっかりで全然わかんない
まあ何にせよ、こいつの気持ちが分かれば理屈はいらなくなる。ぼちぼち乗ってみっか。
やってみる
そんじゃ、お手並み拝見といくか。
行くよ芥川手綱の振るい方がまずかったのかなごめんね
dang, he's just taking the abuse.
手綱に力入れすぎなんだよ。
Oh, he's actually writing now.
Oh, it's nice right there. Oh, okay. I was like, I couldn't tell.
They swap places.
Yeah.
Alright, that time was just his fault. Where are they gonna be next? He's doing something important, but I'm wondering where he got the test tubes from. Is that just like part of his regular equipment?
Might be. He had all those extra bags and packs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this is my second favorite character returning.
Oh, right, she doesn't have the mask. Now she's just infiltrating.
どこか怪我しませんでした
君さ、すんごいカに乗ってるね。
Or she just got kicked out. We're about to find out, I think.
Yeah, now she's on a job, remember?
まあいいか。
パンダ君、いいから諦めて手離しなってば。
何やってんだあのバカ。
うわ
How does that not hurt the crab?
Who knows? Then again, like, I don't think an exoskeleton has, like, a lot of nerves in it or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still growing out of the crab, which means it's got to split the shell.
Mm-hmm. Like, he's doing this as, like, a valid way to plant them, so you are right here.
ごめん。
Maybe it's not actually a crab, maybe it's a sentient mushroom inside of a crab, you know, like those zombie funguses.
訓練はまた明日だ。
無理させちゃってごめん。薬塗るからじっとしててね。強がってもダメ。はい、お座り。さあ。
Hey, you can actually just perfectly understand English.
お前、これができんのになんで背中に乗れねえんだ。
これがってどれが？
まあいいや。予定変更だ。カニの訓練はやめる。お前、カニに関しては才能がある。
え？
初めて見た。
Must have come from working at that brothel.
Oh gosh. Yeah, just have a firm, assertive voice. That's all you really need.
ここまでクリア。足尾鉱脈は目と鼻の先だ。なんだありゃ。
Hey, we finally caught up with the outro.
So I appreciate that I at least got my secondary character in for a minute.
自分の傷もしっかり治しとけよ。
Yeah, I guess she just kind of wandered off after.
Oh, she's
getting
literally right
knocked
here
off.
again.
Yeah, and then came back.
Had to wait for me to be sarcastic about it.
そういやお前意味浜でも見たな。てめえ誰かの差し金で俺たちをつけて。
Oh, they figured it out.
ビスコどいて。胃の中に何かいるんだ。ちょっと荒っぽくなるけど。
I don't think that's proper procedure in this. Or maybe it is because it's a giant fucking bug.
なんだこりゃ。
フクレガイコだ。昔奴隷に逃げられないために使った虫だよ。最初に卵を飲ませて孵化しないように薬で飼い殺す。今だと囚人とか。
意味浜知事の特務隊とかに使うって。道理でいつも変な薬飲まされると思ったんだ。あのインチキ知事。
ほら水飲んで。
こいつ昼間あんだけコケにされた相手によくもまあ。
助かった。
I sort of figured that they were setting up for a moment after all of his embarrassment to go, and this is where this character is really good.
I don't know if I trust it. But she may have done it on purpose.
Also possible.
つまりそういうことでしょ。さっきすんごいキスされたし。
Those men
Like,
are
this
all
isn't-
about shoulders.
そんなつもりじゃ。
Ah, yes, those sexy shoulders. Show me the wrist next.
I mean, that's what we're all about, right? When I list the two favorite parts of a woman's body, it's always shoulders and ankles, right?
She's already been established to be highly manipulative, so this was entirely anticipated.
赤星くんは女を知らないな。ぷぷ、人食い赤星も一皮むけばウブなチェリーくんってわけですか。
ああ、落ち着いてビスコ。ねえ君、行商に行くんでしょ。僕たち食べ物が足りなくて、よかったら何か分けてもらえませんか。
あんたたち本当に体目当てじゃないの？だったらどうして私なんか助けたのさ。品物が欲しけりゃ私が死んだ後そっくり持ってけばよかったじゃん。
言われてみりゃその通りだろ。
目の前で死にそうな人、ほっとくなんてできないよ。ね、ビスコ。
Hey, it turns out the Hippocratic Oath still exists.
助けられちゃったみたいだな。運がいいやら情けないやら。まあいいや。そんなら本業でお相手すっかいな。魅惑のクラゲ商店へようこそ、お二人さん。
クラゲ商店。
私の髪、クラゲに見えるでしょ。うちは武器や兵器図面が専門だけど、食べ物だって充実してるよ。どうこれなんか純度100のサソリ水、舌がとろけちゃうよ。
腹が膨れりゃいいんだ。炭パンとか塩餅はねえのか。
そんな貧乏くさいのうちにはないよ。
見てビスコ、ビスコのバター味がある。これもらおうよ。好きでしょ。
ああ、いや食ったことね。
Hey, here's some cookies named after you. You want them, right?
じゃあなおさらだね
I don't think I would trust a
これ
person
もらえますか
who has selling
そんなの
food
がいいの
who ate food that had a balloon worm in it.
このもっとこう家庭のかと思った。強い子のっつうからよ。味も需要のためのなんか熊の肝みたいな味なのかと。
そんなはずないよお菓子なんだからねえ美味しかった
おう、うめえ。
ちょっと食べ過ぎだよ僕のも取っといてよ
カニのり相手じゃ燃料も売れないし
Liquid bone coal. I think someone literally translated that and then didn't realize what it should just be. Or they're going way out of their way to just be slightly different.
なんだおいミラ起きろ
I know what it is, but I'm getting a real Inuyasha vibe from the show.
船長軍
You think so?
兵器をただ祀って
I
た
don't
んじゃない
It's general feeling, like sleeping in shrines, fighting with girls. I mean, all that weird shit that happens in Inuyasha.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's not. I don't expect a wandering priest to have a black hole in his hand or anything. I'm just saying it's general.
こいつの本体は積み食いじゃこだ
So maybe they did, for some strange reason, build a shrine on the back of giant turtle because they're firing the guns.
Yeah, this was entirely intentional, so like you were totally right.
ダメだこっちはクラゲが始末に追えねえお前がなんとかこいつの足を止めろ
止めるってこんなのどうやって
眉間をぶち割るんだ脳みそを揺らしてやればこの砲台どもも止まる芥川のハサミで眉間を
I
割
don't
った
think you know what a snail
い
is.
きなりカニ乗りビギナーに無茶言わないでよ
Wait, it has a gun pointed at itself?
So I'm confused. I don't know if the rail car station has guns or not.
言ってくれた僕にできると思ったならやるよビスコ芥川ここがあいつの弱点眉間を狙っていけ芥川
見ろ
ビスコ
言っただろがお前カニの才能あるってや
Hey, so you remember how you were mentioning why is his brain just scrambled earlier?
ねえビスコいつもこんなすごい相手と戦ってるの
いやさすがに寺相手に戦ったのは初めてだなでも明日は
So was the crab firing the guns?
そういう星
How does that
I think-
work?
キノコ森の生き方ってのは
Good question.
どうなのっていうよりビスコの星だと思うけど
鉱山の入り口だ
Nothing about that made any sense.
あのままあいつを走らせてたらあいつもろとも炭鉱が吹っ飛ぶところうわちくしょうなあれかよ
あの子逃げちゃったみたいバックのお金全部取られた
あのクラゲ捕まえて蒸し焼きにしてやる
What do you mean by
ビスコと
that?
財布分けといてよかったよ
パンダくん赤星が死んだら私と組もうね
あの子僕らにいろいろ見繕ってくれたんだねお金だけ取られたと思った
要は押し売りじゃねえか似たようなもんだろお前いつの間に芥川その傷
なんだよ
Yeah, the wounds you typically get from getting thrown off a crab,
Ah,
right?
yes, just explicitly your hands.
Despite you complaining about your neck earlier.
Oh, is this no, it's a salt flat, okay.
I think it became a salt flat because you don't typically build a city in the middle of a salt flat.
Right. Just, yeah, that's not suspicious.
追加
おい待て、そいつは俺の待てこらほらガキよこせ。
ビーツコやめなってば。
こんなご時世だし、子供が生きてくには大人を襲って身ぐるみ剥ぐなんて普通のことでしょ。
Is
で
she
も
coming back?
ちょっと相手が悪かった。
Oh, so we have a little lamplight episode.
子供たちの鳥で。ねえ、次回予告ってギャラいくら？
Alright. Well, just going straight to the next thing, huh?
I mean, I saw my main character come back. I don't know if it's flashbacks or not, or she suddenly chased them out to whatever the children's fortress is.
Well, the editing is still definitely a little bit confusing, but I think she's definitely going to be appearing in the episode at the location. It would definitely fit the pace, I think.
If that's what you think, I mean, the show has weird pacing, and I've complained about it before, so I don't know if the logical pacing is going to be the right pacing.
I can only guess based off of narrative themes and what people are likely to write next. That's all I'm going for.
Which is the show is bucked completely, by the way. We've gotten back flashback scenes in the midst of all flashback scene. So, and then flash forward.
Right. Like some of that scene wouldn't make sense if we didn't see like the scene that they cut in from next time to the previous episode.
For all we know, it's a flashback to when she was there to give us an introduction and meaning to the things that happen when Bisco and company show up. They could still be completely separated by time because we didn't see them together. We've got the Superman Clark Kent problem here going on. It's just because we saw one character doesn't mean they're going to be there at the same time as the other character.
Right. So there's no way to know ahead of time, of course, but we got a little lamplight situation set up ahead, and at least of the episode we just saw. So we established how these two characters are working together, their relationship, how that's looking, and basically also the crab, who's now also a character.
Well, he was always a character. He's been in every episode so far.
Right, but now they've like fully personified him, what he's like, and how he acts. Even as a character who does not have lines, he's entirely emoting. So that's good. So the trio is here, and I was genuinely starting to think, I wonder, is the pink-haired jellyfish girl going to actually join up with them? She's still so completely up in the air just because she's written to be this manipulative character that just slips in and out of literally everything.
Well, I mean, that's, again, if I'm going to say Inuyasha vibes, that small little... Did you watch Inuyasha?
Yeah, I've watched a reasonable amount of it.
You know the fox demon, the tiny little creature?
Mm-hmm.
That's always...
basically...
Hates Inuyasha, but wants to hang around with, God, what's her name?
Kagome.
I was going to say Shishome. I couldn't remember her name.
Shishome is another character. I just don't remember which one right now. I think that might be the ninja assassin.
No, it's a mix of Sesshomaru and Kagome. Because I always remember Sesshomaru. It's my favorite character from the show. Couldn't remember Kagome because I could give two shits.
Which one was Shishomaru?
Sesshomaru was Inuyasha's brother. He's a full demon.
The cool emo brother.
Gets his arm ripped off in the first episode. He has a little retainer imp guy following around and raises a little girl.
Of course you'd like the cool brooding loner, alright?
Hey, he almost gives up his life to save Rin when she dies. He has to go to hell and fight literally Satan to get her back. Because despite seemingly to not care about anything, cares about Rin.
Right. But totally your type of character. But yeah, she seems like maybe she will be set up as like some sort of tag along, but she's definitely very up in the air about what she's doing. Like, I'm definitely expecting 2 episodes down the road, she'll already be ahead of the heroes at a new town and have taken over it somehow.
Well, I mean, she is obviously already ahead of the heroes. Remember, she left town after they did and still got in front of them.
Hmm. Yeah, that's also a mystery. Just the fact that everyone is faster than the heroes is hilarious. But also kind of par for the course as far as like we're going on a thing and people are chasing us.
Well, no one's chasing them right now, though.
I think the city still is, which is why we're seeing your favorite character pop up again.
The city's not chasing them. You remember, dude wanted him dead when he was in the city, the corrupt mafia mayor guy, whatever his name was. Because he hired him to kill them, but she failed, and that's why she's running away. Because what
Yeah.
we saw happen last episode is probably why she didn't know about the balloon room situation.
Right.
Also, considers her a slave, apparently. But,
Or
yeah.
everyone, and this is just pure insurance.
yeah, no, that's why the wanted poster's up. No one's explicitly hunting them down, but if you see them, there's a reward.
Hmm. So, there we have it then. Got any last sort of words for this?
I guess please don't kill me would be my last words.
Not gonna kill you. Alright, so I'm Griffin, this is Theta, and we'll catch you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?